Mrs. Denny? Mrs. Essler?
Here.
Ms. Hilferty?
Here.
Mrs. Jones?
Here.
Mrs. Powell?
Here.
Mr. Seastock? Here. Mr. Stone?
Here.
Mr. Tindley? Here. Mr. Armour?
Here. 2.01 is the approval of minutes. Motion is to approve the minutes of the board meeting from September 25th, 2019. Do I have this motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 2.02 is the invoice listing. Motion is to approve the invoice listing for September through October 2019. Do I have this motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 2.03 Treasurer's Report, Mrs. Powell.
As of August 31st, 2019, PennDOT's balance was $47,830,143. During September 2019, local, state, and federal revenues totaled $6,252,329. Disbursements were issued in the amount of $9,773,388. As of September 30th, 2019, PennDOT's current balance is $44,309,084. The motion is to approve the Treasurer's Report for September 2019. Do I have this motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 3, students report to the board.
Okay, so not last weekend, but the weekend before that was our homecoming dance and football game, and our football team actually got their first win against a 5-2 Upper Moreland team, which is really exciting to watch. Also, Bryson Eldridge and Hannah Glamour were crowned homecoming king and queen. Even though I didn't win, I'm really proud of both of them. They definitely deserved it. The dance was also a great time. The music was actually really good. Recently, as of yesterday, our National Honor Society came out with our first ever spirit wear. We have a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt, a quarter zip, and a hooded sweatshirt. And the objective of this is to raise money for upcoming events like our induction that will take place November 5th at 7 p.m. Here, I believe about 35 students will be recognized and inducted into our Honor Society for their high academic achievement. As a public relations person, me and the rest of the cabinet are really thrilled to see what is to come in the future. A few days ago, this past Monday actually, me and a few of our other members of the Student Senate took a trip to the Wells Fargo Center to participate in their Teen Driving Safety Week. Not only was this experience beneficial for all of us, it was honestly really eye-opening. There were a few guest speakers that shared their stories on what happened to them involving teenage reckless driving, and it honestly moved our entire group. I'm really hoping that we can come together in the future and push this to our school about the importance of not texting while driving. Tonight, I think it was from 5:30 to 7 p.m., Sunrise hosted a college fair in the gym for over about 60 colleges that had representatives there giving out information to all of our students that attended. While I personally wasn't in attendance, I'm sure it was a great time for our underclassmen to learn about their future plans.
The end of this month brings us to the end of our first quarter. Already, the students are wrapping up our transition into the school year, and everyone's starting to solidify their first set of final grades. With the end of our first quarter, too, most of our fall sports have already come to an end. This Friday is football's last game until Turkey Bowl home this Thanksgiving. Along with that, our SV Puck team has their first game this Friday to lead us into a new marking period and the new sports season. Tomorrow, our girls volleyball team will be playing in the second round of district playoffs against Villa Maria, giving our team a rematch at last year. Yesterday, the team won their first round game in 3 straight sets against Gwynedd Mercy Academy. Senior Liv Nickerson had 11 kills and 12 digs, along with senior Hannah Vickers contributing 16 assists and 8 kills. Earlier this month, Hannah reached her 1,000th assist in a game against Bishop Shanahan. The last time the team won 2 playoff games was back in 2013. With 7 seniors on the team this year, the girls are looking to make it happen again and get farther than they did last year. We're wishing them luck for the big game tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Number 4, Dr. Steinhoff, the superintendent.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Armour. Thank you, Riley and Janet. Great reports again. I can't fit mine on my cell phone like you guys can. Someday. That's my goal. I'm happy to report that the Board of Pendelco continues to enjoy an excellent start to the beginning of the 1920 school year. You don't have to take my word for it. You can check out any of the countless social media sites from our schools, from our teachers, from our teams, from our clubs. When you look at those posts, what you see are outstanding educational experiences, engaging lessons, happy faces, exemplary school environments. What you see in those posts also matches what I hear from staff, parents, and PTO officers. The images are qualitative data points for the most part, but today statewide quantitative student achievement results were posted for review. And again, we see more current proof that our students are showing academic growth and meeting important benchmarks. Although someone can always find areas for improvement, and we will continue to find areas for improvement, it's important that I note that Sun Valley merited above state average scores in all 3 of its Keystone exam averages. In fact, Sun Valley showed the highest year-to-year growth in the Keystone tested subjects of algebra, biology, and literature since the test was put in place several years ago. It's proof that we can in fact get students to master core content standards and at the same time prepare them for more meaningful college and career experiences. That current data is accurate, presents a much more honest view of Sun Valley than some of the third-party online school ranking sites that have data that is over 3 years old and reflects the flawed information that we had already known about at that time. Sun Valley now has a record high AP passing rate above the state average and Keystone achievement results that more accurately reflect the smart students and excellent teachers that we have there. I'll alert the school board when the State Future Ready Index data is updated, as we expect that too is going to publicly show and represent increased improvements in graduation rate, achievement growth, and career readiness and preparation, and other achievement scores throughout the school district. Despite all of that, we emphasize and parents appreciate that Pendelco is a district where we say a child, a student, a learner is always going to be more than a test score. Tonight I'm asking the board to give their stamp of approval to our Ready for Life logo that will provide a visual of the core components of our programs, what we call the 5 C's: character, communication, critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity. Pendelco's staff and administrators are continuing to find ways to infuse the work of the 5 C's into the standards that they're teaching. Parents tell me that they appreciate that Pendelco won't put doing the right thing for students behind test prep or efforts to spike scores to satisfy ratings. Instead, we continue to refine our program to ensure that we're spending our time getting students ready for life and not just ready for tests. And in light of the data I just talked about, though, it shows our staff and students can do both, and I applaud their efforts. The Ready for Life Guiding Committee will be working on developing sub-indicators for each of the 5 C's so that we have clarity around what is important. So hats off to Sun Valley staff for hosting a regional college and career fair, which is very relevant. Riley and Gianna mentioned this evening. It's the largest turnout that I have seen. It's the largest number of participants as host schools that are being represented there as well. So we're very pleased with the efforts of the guidance department there. This week, students and staff at our school sites are celebrating Red Women Week, which has been a National Spirit Week that now brings attention to well-being. What was once a campaign to simply avoid drugs has grown to a more holistic approach, and the timing coincides with the Safe School Summit that the district attorney sponsored and that I, Mr. Kimmick, and 7 of our counselors attended at Newman University yesterday. It's clear we're in a solid spot when it comes to supporting our students and recognizing the effects of adverse childhood experiences on students. There's a lot of talk about trauma-informed care in schools across the country, and our district staffing of counselors, which is above the county per student average, will help ensure that we are responding to the emotional and psychological needs of our students as well as their academic needs. I too want to congratulate Sun Valley girls volleyball team that made the playoffs and won their first round, but also the Sun Valley Speech and Debate Club that had 2 first-place winners in their first tournament this year. Since our last public meeting, we've had several community days, several school fall festivals. I want to acknowledge and thank the administrative staff and our school board members that participated in those events. Pendelco Pride was out in force. Our path towards the construction of a new Sun Valley auditorium remains on pace. Next month, bid specs will be available, and assuming that proposals are efficient and reasonable, administration will ask the board to approve the auditorium project that will address the Sun Valley entrance, the lobby, and the nurse's suite as well. Record low borrowing rates will be of service to our funding plans for the project. It's worth noting we are not going out on a referendum to fund this project, nor will the cost of the project obligate the district to exceed the Act 1 index. I expect that Pendelco will still have either the lowest or at worst second lowest average taxes in the county. Statewide IDEX data indicates that while Pendelco spends about 17% less per student compared to the county average, our student achievement is close to 10% above the county average. And that is a noteworthy measure of return on investment in the efforts by our teachers, our staff, and our students. School districts are paying close attention to the work in Harrisburg to address the unacceptably high tuition rates that charter schools are charging our taxpayers. And I encourage parents and taxpayers to continue to advocate to our legislators for common sense changes in the charter school funding space. Reminder, our schools will be closed November 4th and 5th for teacher in-service, perfect days for college visits as well. Finally, I want to congratulate also Coburn Elementary School. We just learned they received a blue ribbon from the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society for their school garden. It's outstanding work that they've done, not only just putting the school garden in place there, but actually making it an important part of their curriculum. And a reminder that on Monday night, October 28th, the first of our 3-part series for parents will be held 6:30 North the Middle School, Facts About Vaping and Smoking. In the wintertime, we'll offer a parent information night on the addiction of loneliness, which is becoming an issue for teenagers, and finally one on anxiety and school-related concerns in the spring. Thank you, Mr. Lemon.
Thank you, Dr. Steinhoff. Tonight, in accordance with Act 48, the board met in executive session to discuss litigation and personnel matters. Comments by members of the board?
I just want to echo your comments regarding Sun Valley scores and congratulate Mr. Saski and the Sun Valley staff there. We're thrilled with the work that you are all doing, and thank you for that. And I remember it was a year or two ago, Mr. Saski came in here with some unique proposals on how to motivate students to take those tests seriously, and it's working. So kudos to him. We applaud your efforts, and we are genuinely thankful for the work and the investment in our kids.
Thank you. Pass it along, Mr.
Thank you, Ms. Stone. I'd also like to say, if anyone has not had the chance to go over to see the recent Blue Ribbon Horticultural the garden over at the school, it is pretty impressive that they put together. So if you get a chance, stop over and check it out. Public comments? No?
Public comments.
Oh, yeah.
Items for board action start on page 2, carry through page 3, 4, 5, and end on page 6. References to Pendelco Budget 2018 and 2019, Pendelco Budget 2019-2020, Act 93 Plan, PDEA Agreement, PDESPA Agreement, PDSSPA Agreement, and PA School Code Section 1108B. It is the administrative recommendation to approve all personnel items as presented. Do we have this motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Tonight, the board will utilize a consent agenda for items 10.03 through 10.13. Please note that we're going to pull 10.14 and vote on that separately. Does any other board member wish to have anything else pulled? If not, I need a motion to approve 10.03 through 10.13. Please note that all contracts, preparations, and solicitation of bids are subject to review of the solicitor.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 10.14 is a bond resolution. I need a motion to approve the resolution authorization, the incurrence of non-electoral indebtedness in the maximum principal amount of $13,310,000 to finance district construction projects, including but not limited to Sun Valley High School as presented. Do I have this motion?
So second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Comments by members of the public? Members of the board? Future meetings are Wednesday, November 13th is our study session here at the Service Center, as well as November 20th, the business meeting here at the Service Center. Motion with that.
So moved.